Have you ever wondered why your girlfriend suddenly starts telling you she's got a headache every time you make a move? She barely looks up from her phone when you come home, or even worse, man, she criticizes you on simple things like how you load the dishwasher? When this happened to me, I used to think this was because of her hormones, maybe she had PMS, but it was actually because I was unconsciously displaying weak masculine habits that made her close off. And in this video, I'll explain what these habits are and what to do to fix them. And I swear, man, if you do not fix these habits, she's gonna leave you very soon. And the first habit is especially common amongst high achieving men. I'll be honest with you, man, I used to be guilty of habit number 1 too, and unfortunately it made me look like a total Kevin, aka a weak, insecure man in front of my girlfriend. So 4 years into my relationship with my ex, Kathy, we started to have arguments over the smallest things that sounded like this. Gee, can you clean the dishwasher please and make sure the cups go upside down and arrange the dishes this way, yada 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 yada. I mean, she had a point, but instantly I reacted like this. Are you seriously nagging me about this? To which she obviously responded with, here we go again. And I complained to her, why do you always focus on the things I don't do well? Honestly, I'm so fucking tired of it. Now here's the part most men don't realize. Fights like this lead to her closing off her feminine energy and push her into her boss babe backer energy. So why is this happening? It's not the topic of the fight that matters here, but what your reaction conveys to her. Because she's going to ask herself, and by the way, this will all happen subconsciously. If he loses his shit over meaningless stuff like the dishwasher, how will he protect me when shit really hits the fan? Because this violates her prime desire for emotional and physical safety, and when she feels unsafe around you, she's going to give you less hugs, less kisses, and obviously less intimacy overall. So how do you actually go from being an unregulated, overly emotional Kevin to a grounded masculine Hercules? Here's the truth. Every time you snap, it's not random actually. It's because there's a clash between how you see yourself and how you're being treated in that moment. Like you see yourself as a grown man, but unfortunately she treats you like a little boy, which triggers you. Now ask yourself, when you get triggered, what man do I want to be? A Kevin who cannot regulate his emotions, or a Hercules, grounded, calm, and setting boundaries without losing my shit? So here's how I managed to go from Kevin to Hercules. I started using those moments as fuel, right? Instead of just snapping and moving on, the next morning I sit down with a coffee and actually write it out. How do I feel? What do I dislike about my life right now? What do I dislike about myself? And most importantly, what can I do to fix it? That's how I turn every trigger into a call to action. Because you must stop seeing snapping as a weakness, but rather a call to action, feedback. Yeah, it's your system screaming, wake up, something is out of alignment. And when you reflect and you start acting on it, that's when you start becoming Hercules and letting go of your Kevin. Once you master your own emotions, the next weak masculine habit that you need to get rid of is more subtle action. And because it is more subtle, 90% of men actually fail it, and it pushes their partner further away. So to explain habit number 2 that makes you look weak, let me share a client story actually. So in 2024, my client Dave launched his business, was working 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, yeah? And soon his girlfriend started saying things like, hey, you work a bit too much, Dave, or when was the last time you spent time with me? So obviously Dave felt guilty, so he started cutting back his working hours to 8 hours roughly, I'd say, and guess what happened? Despite him making more time for her, she stopped fucking him. She stopped preparing little love notes. And worse, she turned into a little nagging Becky the boss babe as well. Now, why did she do that? Is she evil? Is she crazy? Or is there actually a bit more to it? You gotta understand, when she said you're working too much, she wasn't really asking him to quit his business and work less. On a deeper level, what she really was saying was, do you actually see me? Can you stay grounded in your purpose without losing me in the process? That's a classic leadership test from women in relationships. So how do you pass these tests actually? Well, I'm gonna give you the general approach first, and then I'm gonna give you a specific example after. So first, Dave's girlfriend stopped being lovey-dovey and sleeping with him because he responded like a Kevin to the leadership. He sacrificed himself to please her, which is obviously counterproductive. So how do you pass this? Simple. Stay playful, acknowledge her, and lead with a solution. So here's how I would respond, because obviously I've gotten these kind of questions, tests from my girlfriend as well, right? So I would say, sounds like your little princess misses me a bit. That's cute. And then I would actually say, hey, look, Bambi, I'm in a busy season right now, and I don't want to cut my hours. But I also get that I've been a bit distant, and I want to fix this. I'm going to book our favorite restaurant for next Saturday, 7 p.m., but I expect you to wear something cute. Boom, man. In one move, you triggered 3 of her 5 primary desires. You made her feel seen, primary desire of connection. You stayed playful, primary desire of fantasy, and you showed leadership, primary desire of masculine leadership, by solving the problem. That's Hercules energy, man. That is super attractive. By the way, man, everything I teach here is part of my Hercules method, which teaches you how to step into your true, authentic masculine frame. If you want to know more, check out the description below. And now, with that being said, let me show you the next big mistake that makes men look weak. So the third mistake is a bit of a weird one because it makes you look weak while you actually think it makes you look sweet. So here's a quick example of how that looks like when I was with my ex, Katie. So I remember I wanted to go train by myself because I had a tough week. And for me, training by myself was a way to switch off, right? Every time I packed my bag, my ex, Katie asked, "Oh, can I come with you, please?" And in my head, I was like, man, I need some space by myself. Well, guess what I said? Sure, let's train together. I mean, what the fuck, man? It's the ugly truth. When we did go to the gym together, I ignored her. When she needed a spotter or help with the machine, I just asked, "What do you want?" Like in an extremely passive-aggressive way. So she was confused then and upset because, yeah, I mean, she was all over-dovey, happy to be around me because I had set the frame that it was okay for her to come with me, but my actions were incongruent with the frame I set. So really, I was lying to her. And here's the paradox, man. I did the exact thing I wanted to protect her from, which was hurting her feelings. But in reality, I was harming her more by hiding the truth. Back in the days, I spoke with my mentor who advised me this actually, and I think this is groundbreaking. Jean, you're treating her like a little child, trying to protect her from the real world. But relationships aren't about not hurting each other. That's totally impossible, man. It's about not harming each other. There's a difference between hurting someone and harming. Hurting is naturally a byproduct of telling the truth. So when I tell my partner, Bambi or babe, I need to train alone today, she might feel upset. She might think, am I not good enough? That's her task to work through. Of course, I don't need to be a dickhead about it, right? I can caution how I set the boundary. I could say, hey, Bambi, I really need some space by myself, nothing to do with you, but I need to process the day. If she's upset about that, that's baggage she has to deal with because she's a functioning adult and I expect her to deal with her own shit. However, if you say yes when you want to say no, that is harming because you are deliberately lying to her. And that's worse than being upfront with her. So stop being afraid of viewing the truth as a knife that cuts someone open, right? But rather see it as a way of bringing you two closer together, because when you show your authentic self, she will feel it, man. It shows that you accept yourself for who you are. And when you do that, she will feel safe enough to accept herself as for who she is. Once you stop looking weak, she'll be all over you again. And unfortunately, man, that will create a new problem. How do you satisfy her desires in the bedroom? And how do you know what she truly fantasizes about? But luckily for you, I've broken it down in the next video just for you.